very good. You know, you even worked a little bit ahead of me, because the very next slide is that most of these stories have something in common. Fantasy, historical fiction, mysteries, horror, they all have something called, very good, suspense. Suspense is what makes stories exciting. Stories are more interesting and exciting when they are suspenseful. That means when you are not sure how they are going to turn out. So if you read, for instance, The Chronicles of Narnia, and at the very beginning it said, well, these kids are going to walk through a wardrobe, Edmund is going to betray them to the White Witch, then he's going to apologize, then it's happily ever after, and they get crowned and they defeat the White Witch, it would be really, really boring. But The Chronicles of Narnia isn't like that. It stretches things out. You don't know what's going to happen to them. You don't know whether they're going to defeat the White Witch. And that makes The Chronicles of Narnia suspenseful. Most stories that you read are pretty suspenseful because that's how they get readers like you. Now, when you're looking at a narrative, there are many similarities between a fictional narrative and a personal narrative. One of them is that in your personal narrative, you also want to create suspense. When you're writing a personal narrative, you don't want to just start out by saying, one day I baked cookies, but then I spilled a whole pound of flour on the floor and my mom came in and got really mad at me and I got sent to my room, and the end. Boring. You want to drag it out, make it suspenseful and exciting. And the same thing goes with, in a story, you're not sure what's going to happen. In your life, there are probably many times where you didn't know what was going to happen. So, take a look at this question. Can you remember a time in your life when you were not sure how things were going to turn out? A time in your life when you were not sure how things were going to turn out. So some examples might be a move, so moving from one place to another, like a house. A game, maybe if you were playing chess or a football game. A test. Maybe you've taken tests before and you've been really, oh, the audio is kind of choppy. Uh-oh. Let me